Hello and welcome in this new course. So today I would like to speak to you about TypeScript and a new way to assign variables in an object. So in a class, you will see it's really simple. In a class, we can assign a variable, so a property, an attribute if you prefer, in without assigning in the constructor. So there's different names with this. Actually, a lot of names. The official name is constructor parameter property. So if I type TypeScript constructor parameter properties, that's the official name. You also have, I have actually a list of the TypeScript constructor assignment. So it's the one we will see after. Obviously, if my computer is slowing down, I just have to wait. We have the TypeScript constructor assignment. We have the constructor property promotion. That's the name from PHP because in PHP they have the same feature, property promotion. So constructor property promotion, this one. Then we have the auto implemented properties. You see, so if you type TypeScript, you will see it. TypeScript constructor assignment, that's the one I was speaking to you about. Then you can, sometimes you might see also the name property implemented, so auto implemented properties, this one, in TypeScript, not in C#, but TypeScript. And then you could even have the TypeScript constructor shorthand, like this. But basically all of those names are exactly the same. It's just a lot of different names for the same thing. And what it does, let's see where we are. If I type parameter properties, here we are. So let's directly jump into it. In my case, I will use the TypeScript playground. So basically the playground is like let's say a sandbox where you can easily execute your code. And let's see directly why it's so powerful. So like I said, in PHP you also have that feature. And if you're already familiar with PHP 8, version 8, is property constructor constructor promotion. That's the term, the constructor property promotion in PHP. And it's exactly the same. So normally when you have a class, like let's say I have a class and the class is person, perfect, Person. Here we are. Normally you would have a constructor in TypeScript, and inside of the constructor, so you will have like one property. It will be name, the type will be string, and then here you would have a private property attribute, and the name will be, let's prefix it with underscore name. It's a string, and here I will have to assign the property. So this dot name equals name, like this, and then I would do const person Pierre, const person equals, and so I'll create a new object like this. And then I can do let's use it public actually, so it will be easier. So let's change our property to public. It will be easier for this example because I will be able to access to the property. So I will just remove the underscore like that. Perfect. And then person.name, and if I do a console.log, and let's execute this, you see I see Pierre. Now this is a little bit verbose, it's quite long to write. So what I can do, I can remove this property and automatically I will do public name, and here I will leave the constructor empty, like this. And automatically, behind the scene, TypeScript will assign this name, the variable, to a class property, like what we just did before, like this. It will automatically, it will know, and it will do this in the background. Perfect. So behind the scene, TypeScript does this. However, to write is much shorter. And now, if we just execute this, you will see the result is exactly the same. And now, if I do, if I have another variable, it will be name, and then probably it will be what can we do? So I have a name, age, for instance, age, and then the age will be a number, and here I say 24. And now if I have another console log for the age, it will automatically do the same. Oh, age, person 24. What's happening here? It's because, oh no, we have an issue here because age doesn't exist normally. So normally with normal JavaScript, without using the property, the parameter properties, you would have public age number, and then here this dot age equals age. Let's execute this. I have the age is there. So why it doesn't want to do, oh, I think I know. It's because I forgot. I forgot the visibility. So you need to mention the visibility operator. How do you call it in TypeScript? TypeScript visibility modifier. Do they call this TypeScript? Yeah. So you need to mention the access modifier. If you don't, obviously it won't work. And I believe here they mention it with one of the visibility modifier: public, private, protected, or read-only. So read-only, how it says what it does. It can only be you cannot reassign the property with a different value once it has been assigned for the first time in the constructor. So when you create your object params, for instance, you mention a value, it's read-only. After, if you want to reassign to a different value, it won't work. In our case, let's leave it public for the for the visibility. So it's really powerful because with all of those, and when you mention the visibility modifier, so public, you don't have to forget it, obviously, but as soon as you have the visibility modifier before the parameter, TypeScript knows it has to create in the background a class property. So private age, it will do this, and it will be a number here, and then inside under the scene, TypeScript will do age like this. Okay, so now we can test this, and obviously it will be like that. Yeah, but in our case, we run it, and you see I have the age. And as you can see, it's really powerful because you don't write too much code. And before, if you are used to always mention all of your property like this, it's very verbose, and then you would have a lot of code. It takes more time also to write, although most of the IDEs, so most of the code editors are doing this for you. So usually they would autocomplete this for you, but still it's more code. And when you don't have to write this, when you don't have to do this dot name equals name this dot age equal age. It's an amazing feature, so I really recommend you because it's also more readable. You will produce better code and easier to maintain in the long term. Perfect. And what else? We can now do like read only if we wish to. So read only will be public as well. Let's run this one. I have the same result, and now I think you can also mention normally. Well, if it's read only, let's just try to have the. Yeah, you can also mention, that's fine. You can either mention only read only, so it will be public, or public, but read only is nice when your property is public because at least you are sure that the value of the class properties are not being modified after later on is safer because you don't know. Maybe normally all of your class properties have to be private, but when it's read only, it's like a constant, which is great. And if you're aware of the encapsulation in OOP, it's a really important concept. Encapsulation, it's when you have the visibility between your methods, your class members, so methods, properties. It's a really important concept, and this is why it's important to have read-only or private for your class properties. For this example, I set them to public, but actually, ideally, it has to be read-only. So this works, but if I reassign the person name to a different value here, if I do person.name equals new name, this won't work. And if I run it, I will have an error, or it doesn't give me an error because read only. Oh, maybe there's a bug because like here actually it says automatically it's only read only, but it will continue. In this case, somehow the playground TypeScript doesn't give it doesn't complain, although I think I have still an error here. I can see in the log, and it clearly says here, you see, like assignment name, because it is read-only property. And if I remove the read-only, if I do only public, and here only public, then it will not complain at all. That's it for today. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you in another video. Ciao!